my darlings, how's it going? My name is Craig, and today I'm going to be going over my top 5 underrated quick play spell cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Now please keep in mind that this is just a personal list of quick play spell cards that I think could have been or could still be appreciated and played a little bit more. Without further ado, number 5. Quick Booster. This is one of the few cards on the list that I think could still do some work in today's game. The effect of Quick Booster is as follows. Target one quick play spell card in your graveyard, except Quick Booster. Shuffle that target into the deck. If this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, you can add one quick play spell card from your deck to your hand, except Quick Booster. Now right off of Mighty Slugger's bat, this might not seem too good of an effect, but taking into account that it can be chained to an MST or anything of that likes which is out to destroy your mysterious face down in order to get both effects makes this card much more useful in my eyes. Especially with Twin Twisters running rampant in today's game, perhaps it's a card worth taking a quick look at. Quick look? You know, like quick play? You know what? You make a funnier video. Number 4. Magical Spring. This card has a pretty long effect, so I'll do my best to sum it up. It allows you to draw a number of cards equal to the face-up spell/trap cards your opponent controls. However, you then have to discard cards equal to the amount of face-up spell/trap cards you control. If this effect resolves, your opponent's spell/trap cards' activations cannot be negated, nor can they be destroyed by battle or card effects until the end of your opponent's next turn. And yes, I said by battle. I don't know, maybe it's for fucking Zone with a Spirit or something, cause that card is meta as fuck! It appears as if Craig is drawing his card, and oh, he sets 3 and pass, okay. Opponent goes ahead and draws a card, and oh no! Oh no! Damn, son! Now yes, the drawback of this is pretty hefty, but if used under the right circumstances, you can potentially plus a ton of cards. It may be situational to a degree, but with Pendulum Scales around, a lot of continuous trap cards being sided lately, and more field spells popping up, Magical Spring just might spring back. Alright, I'll stop. Number 3. Magical Dimension. I was on the edge about putting this on the list because it is well known, and not a completely dismissed card. But with its lack of play in Shadows during their time, and again seeing it brushed off with Magispectors and Magician Pendulums around, I had to put it on here. If you're not familiar with Magical Dimension, its effect is, if you control a Spellcaster type monster, target one monster you control. Tribute that target, then special summon one Spellcaster type monster from your hand. Then you can destroy one monster on the field. The awesome fact that tributing isn't cost, as well as the option to destroy one monster on the field doesn't target and starts with the word then, gives this card so much power. It allows things like Shadows to get their effects off Engrave, and helps avoid cards like Bottomless Trap Hole. All of that, coupled with the fact that it's a quick play spell card, makes Magical Dimension a deadly forgotten bullet in the chamber. Number 2. Emergency Provisions. This is one of those cards that I just have a soft spot for, but even putting my bias for the card aside, I still think it's a really decent addition to certain decks. Emergency Provisions effect states, send any number of other spell/trap cards you control to the graveyard. Gain 1000 life points for each card sent. Again, with Pendulum Scales around, a lot of sided continuous traps, and things like Toy Vendor, Hysteric Sign, and other similar cards that enable searches at Engrave, Emergency Provisions, although not the most practical card in the game, still has its place. It's, in my opinion, an overlooked diamond in the rough. Really rough. Really rough. Look, I like the card, okay? Honorable Mentions. Draw Muscle. Intercept Wave. Demise of the Land. Serial Spell. Forbidden Graveyard. And my personal number 1 pick for the most underrated quick play spell card in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Reliable Guardian. At first glance, this card might not seem like much, but with an effect that can be activated in the damage step, allowing you to buff that little extra 700 defense you need, could just win you the door. It's a card I feel is criminally overlooked, and that's just unfair. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's Book of Eclipse. My number one is Book of Eclipse. Reliable fucking guardian. Yes, somewhat recently, Book of Eclipse has seen a lot more play, in stuff like Necrods and other tournament competing decks at that time, but I still think it's very underrated in its versatility. It can be used for dodging, rendering problem monsters useless, turning all your opponent's monsters into worthless defenders, and so much more. The downside doesn't really count for much if your opponent's monsters aren't around until the end phase, and even then, giving your opponent a card or two can still be worth it if Book of Eclipse is used at the right time. That's about it for this top 5 video, but if you have any opinions on the cards shown, there are any cards I missed that you think outshine these choices, or if you just have any requests or suggestions for future videos, let me know with a comment or video response. Take care and duel on.